Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of life's biggest frustrations, right? All those things that are just completely out of our hands. But what if I told you there's a kind of hidden power switch, a single idea that can totally change how you deal with everything that happens to you?
So let me just start by asking you a question. Think about your day-to-day life, all the chaos, all the curveballs. What is the one thing, the only thing that you have absolute 100% control over? Just let that simmer for a minute.
Okay, before we get to the answer, we've got to get real about all the stuff we can't control. So Section 1, let's take a look at the uncontrollable world. I mean, think about it. Other people. We spend so much energy trying to influence them, right? We plead, we persuade, we argue. But at the end of the day, we can't actually make their choices for them. That's their power, not ours.
Well, what about something we've all felt? Traffic. Oh man, you can be the best driver in the world, leave an hour early, check all the apps, but you can't control that one person who causes an accident up ahead. It's completely external. It has nothing to do with you.
And then there's the big one, time. It just keeps moving forward, relentlessly. Doesn't matter how much we wish for 5 more minutes, or for a moment to last forever. It's probably the biggest uncontrollable force there is.
You know, when you list it all out like that, it can feel a little defeating, can it? But here's where things get interesting. What if we're just focusing our energy on the wrong thing entirely? What if the secret isn't about wrestling with these things we can't control? And that little shift in perspective brings us to this really simple but profound truth. The first half just confirms everything we've been feeling. It says, you're right. In life, we cannot choose what happens to us, period.
But here it is. This is the big reveal. This is the answer to that question I asked at the beginning. But the only thing that we can choose is how to respond to what happens to us. See? The power isn't in what happens. The power is in your response.
So that's a great idea, but how do we actually use it? How does this become a practical tool? Well, let's move from the idea to the action. Section 2 is all about finding your power in what we call your locus of control. So what this does is it creates this powerful dividing line in your mind. Think of it like this. On one side, you have the storm, all the external, uncontrollable stuff that just happens to you. But on the other side, you have your center, the internal stuff you can control, your response. That's the great dichotomy. Your power isn't out there in the storm. It's right here in your center.
And this center is what we're calling your locus of control. It's not really a place, it's a moment. It's that tiny, precious little gap, that space between something happening and you reacting. And in that space, you are the boss. You have total authority. Your freedom lives right there, in that pause.
Okay, so knowing you have this power is one thing, but actually using it, especially when you're angry or frustrated, that's the real challenge. So how do we train ourselves to find and use that moment of choice? Let's get into it in Section 3, the positive response.
Well, it really comes down to this simple 3-step practice. First, just acknowledge what happened. No judgment, just the facts. Okay, I'm stuck in traffic. Second, and this is the absolute key, you pause. You feel that urge to get angry, but instead you just breathe. You find that space. And third, you choose. You deliberately pick your response. You know what? I'm going to put on some music, or I'm just going to enjoy the quiet. The response is yours.
And you know, this isn't just about playing defense against bad situations. It's really a proactive strategy for life. The final instruction here is a call to action. It says, so choose to respond positively to every situation. It's a challenge, really, to make this your default set.
So let's bring it all home. Life is always going to throw stuff at you. That's a given. The only constant, the one variable you always have in your hands, is your response. That's not just a power you have, it's your power. So the only real question left is, how are you going to use it?